Hello YouTube, it's Nathan, and I'm coming at you today with another character I've made to farm the lab with. This time it's not really so much a farmer though, it's kind of more of a speedrunner. You could still farm helmet enchants, but the main goal of this character is to run as quickly as you can to the end. I wanted to try my best to see if I could get rank 1 against the current champion called the Hammer. He's a very well played guy who's been doing this a long time, and I can say that it's close. I'm still ranked 2, but I have been able to put down some pretty good runs so far, and I think it's worth sharing this character at the moment. It's a Glacial Cascader, and you'll see here that, boom, I one-shot the boss and skip mechanics. You see how the golems didn't do anything there? The boss just turned around and went straight back into his hole. Guess what? Mission accomplished. So the character is running at roughly 550% movement speed at the moment. I've made some changes since I recorded the footage you see on the screen. In fact, this was ripped off my Twitch channel because it was a pretty solid run and overall demonstrates the character's potential as a whole. So the character is a Queen of the Forest lab runner that uses the chest swap. You'll see, boom, you swap on the +1 Skin of the Loyal with a level 21 Glacial Cascade linked with a whole mess of more multipliers to one-shot the boss. Outside of that, you're scaling Abyssal Jewel movement speed as well as all the other movement speed you can get. Pretty much everywhere except for rings has movement speed, you know. That you got the weapons, you got the griffins on the weapon slot, you got the devotos, you've got the Vald Karui word for 15%. It's everywhere. So the character's swift, it one-shots bosses, and after this run I'm going to go into a little bit more explanation and show you guys the gear, the gems, and the intricacies and synergies between pieces of gear. So now that the run's over, it's time to break down the character, give it a quick little overview, I suppose. So it's a level 95 Pathfinder. In the Abyss Softcore League, if you couldn't tell by the 0 XP in the bar down here at the bottom. It runs in the hideout, 482% movement speed. If I've killed something, it's 455%. I benefit from the Griffins, movement speed if I've killed recently, as well as 10 Abyssal Jewels that all have roughly 8% movement speed on them. The skill tree is here. You can just about see how many jewels I have. Real quick, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, plus the 3 in the gear, that's 10. About 80% movement speed from that, 110% if I've killed recently. Okay? The Pantheons as well offer me a little bit of movement speed. The Soul of Lunaris, 1% for each enemy nearby. And the Soul of Gargoyle, 6% if I have not been hit recently, which is perfect. So that's the movement speed of the character. Let's talk about the actual gear choices really quickly. So the Griffins, they pretty much speak for themselves. I'm killing stuff anyways to proc the Abyssal Jewels, so why not? You get 10% for each one as a base movement speed modifier, and then 15% if you killed recently on each. They're at the best. I don't think there's any other option right now that beats these. The Devotos with the phase run duration enchant, a lot of you lab runners are familiar with this. It's really a hard helmet to beat for movement speed. The phase run I have right now lasts 4.88 seconds, thanks to the 5-link setup I have in the Queen of the Forest. The Vald Karui ward for 15% is really nice, and the rings right here, guess what? They're only there to cap resistances. They don't do anything else. I don't get life on these. I don't need life on these. You've seen in the clips, I don't really die on this character unless I mess up tremendously by detonating mines too early. In that case, I can die, but it's still very difficult if you play well. The gloves, the Tomb Fist gloves, I'm going to cover more about this item in a second. The belt right here, 15% movement speed belt with a flask charge modifier and spell damage during a flask. I insanity crafted this myself. It is beautiful, and I don't know if it can get a whole lot better than that. The boots are the Abrath hooves, and I use this for the 15% movement speed. Just kidding. That's not why. I said I was going to get back to the gloves in a second, and here I am. We are back at the gloves. But wait, Nate, you just covered the boots. Yes, they go hand in hand. Well, sometimes hand and foot. So these boots and these gloves are important for one reason, and I will show you that right now real quick. Alright, so we take a quick look at the gloves. We have Commandment of Blades on hit. This is important because it scales physical damage as well as some cold and lightning. Now, let's take a look at our weapon swap real fast. We have 2 wands, and guess what? These new shaped wands that give you physical damage as extra of another element or chaos, they are insane with this enchant. It makes the damage skyrocket. So what I've been doing in lab is this. Since I gain a ton of movement speed when I kill, I've swapped to the wands, I run up to a mob, I kill it, and then I swap back to the griffins for the inherited movement speed. If you've killed recently, right then it didn't look so good because I did get hit. I'll show you what it looks like when you're moving faster with flasks up, okay? So you kill them with the wand, you swap back to the griffins, and then boom, you're at 550% or higher movement speed, depending on your Pantheon power. That gives you movement speed for each nearby enemy. So this is why the combination of Abrath hooves and the Tomb Fist with the Commandment of Blades is so strong. I will show you one more time here. Do you see how I have 0 flask charges right now? I will kill 1 pack. Actually, Stone Golem, go away. Look, 1 glove proc puts all my flasks up to about half or higher, which is incredibly beneficial for the Labyrinth because I do not need to stop running. Plain and simple, I'm always moving, and that is the way to increase your time. Never stop. Always go, go, go. If you have to stop, you're losing time. So those are the gloves, those are the boots. Talking about the flasks really quick, the things that are ever so important to keep active as often as possible. I'm running 1 Jade Flask with a very high evasion roll on it, so that way I can cap out Queen of the Forest with just 1 investment into the flask slot, right? 1 Jade Flask puts me well above the 45,000 required evasion to cap out the 100% movement speed from this chest piece, okay? I also have jewels, the Abyss Jewels, with the evasion rating on them to help scale this flask as well, or the evasion as a whole. Next flask is the Experimenter's Quicksilver of Adrenaline. This flask is pretty specific because if you want to maintain your flask charges, it will be necessary, right? You need increased duration. Having an Alchemist Quicksilver is usable. You get 15% more movement speed from this flask as opposed to the Experimenter's version. But the difference is that this flask lasts a very short duration. And this glove enchant has a 5-second cooldown. So if you press the Alchemist Quicksilver faster than your glove enchant procs, you will eventually run out of flasks in general. And that's not good. You want to always have your flasks up for each zone. For each long run, you need all your flasks active. The next one is the Chemist Silver Flask of Warding. This one, in my opinion, is pretty obvious because you get 2 charges out of this flask now. Thank you for the Chemist prefix. And also the Curse Immunity, which is nice because there's some traps in the Labyrinth that have temp chains. That'll slow you down considerably and, quite frankly, irritate the crap out of you. For damage on this character, since I am no longer scaling crit on the tree, I've decided to go with At Series Promise because it offers a huge amount of damage. And also, one small detail I'd like to mention is that Chaos Resistance is Izaro's weakest resistance overall. So the more chaos damage you do, the better, because he is least resistant to that element. Okay, so At Series Promise, coming in clutch. For the flask, I have a hybrid flask because I need health and I need mana. You'll see in a second when I swap to the Skin of the Loyal, it takes quite a bit of mana to do my rotation. Okay, I'll show you in a minute. But the prefix here, the Catalyzed, increases recovery rate, which is nice because with this low amount of health, you need to regen it as quickly as possible in some situations. So yeah, that's the character. Let's cover the chest swap real fast, okay? This is the important part that a lot of people want to see. This is what you've seen in the video. to start off the YouTube video here, here's what you do. I have haste on right now, okay? And like I said, I have a 5-link phase run in this Queen of the Forest with the haste right here. Alright, so I zoom to the boss. Boom, boom, boom. Alright, we're here. Guess what? Here's the rotation. You swap on Skin of the Loyal. This automatically takes haste off the bar, which gives you a whole lot more mana. You weapon swap to your wands. Immediately go low life with Hatred for 30% more spell damage and physical damage as extra cold. This comes in clutch. So after that, you want to put down 7 Glacial Cascade mines, just like that. You want to pop Herald of Ash, not only for the physical damage as extra fire damage, but also a level 20 Arcane Surge because it reserves so much mana. So we're getting tons of more spell damage from going low life and popping Herald of Ash before the fight. LE weakness I don't frequently use because it's a bit clunky sometimes, but there's days where Zaro is more resistant to elements than others. And on a day where he is more tanky, guess what? I have the answer to that. So we detonate the 7 mines, kill the boss instantly, skip the mechanics as you saw in the clip earlier, swap back on the Queen of the Forest, pop the hybrid flask, put haste on, disable LE weakness, and we're good to go. So the rotation seems like a lot. It is a lot, and it took me a while to learn. But once you get used to it, it's not so bad. It's really simple. So again, you swap on this, change weapons. You can even put the mines down first if you want, but you need to gain your mana back with the hybrid. You go low life, you put Herald on, you add series, you detonate, boss dies in 1 hit, hybrid flask, and we're back to running full speed ahead. So there's that. In the 6th link here, I have Glacial Cascade, a level 4 in power, Trap and Mine, Support, Remote Mine, Conk Effect, and LE Focus. One thing you'll notice is all of these are more multipliers, okay? This is a juiced up Glacial Cascade. It does huge amounts of damage, which is why the skill tree looks like it does. How do you like that segue? Is that pretty good? There's no life on the skill tree, and there's hardly any damage, okay? I have a few mine nodes here. Saboteur for the extra mine, which is huge. A huge damage increase. Every mine you can get is huge. You don't necessarily need this. You can probably, if you had better weapons than me, drop this. But I like to be comfortable. I like to farm comfortably. And I know it's hard to say with 2.2k life, but trust me, it's not that bad. So anyways, looking at the skill tree, I have movement speed everywhere possible. There is no more movement speed I can get on the tree. This is only highlighted because it removes movement speed penalties. That's a 3% movement speed gain, and quite frankly, it's not worth it. It doesn't give me anything else except 3 movement speed, so I don't travel that far for that node. Outside of that, I get Flask efficiency nodes, such as Primal Spirit, Druidic Rite, Arcane Chemistry. Skill effect duration is pretty important for buffing up the phase run duration. What else? Jewel sockets I have everywhere possible. I could potentially get 1 to 2 more if I adjusted the skill tree at the cost of maybe some movement speed nodes like Aspect of the Eagle. Ballistic Mastery is not so bad because it does scale the glove enchant damage. The Commandment of Blades is a projectile. Okay, so coming up here isn't as bad as you think it is. What else? Everything else is pretty self-explanatory. Movement speed, a couple mine nodes for the extra mines, Flask effect here, low life as well. Nimbleness, the cast speed's not that bad because it helps you save time when you need to cast that phase run. And here's one thing I do want to cover specifically is the Watcher's Eye Jewel, okay? This is an interesting jewel because my character is invisible now, and that's actually a bug. You've seen it here first. In any case, check this out. This offers me permanent phasing. You see how my character is glowing blue? I'll show you really quickly in the Blood Aqueduct how important this can be. Let's say you're running through a trap setup. Guess what? You need your clicks to be accurate. You want your character to always go where you click it to go. Okay? I don't get body blocked. I'm never shoved out of my way. I go where I want to go, phase run or not. Now, let's pretend I don't have haste anymore, okay? Look, I'm body blocked in this doorway, and it was hard to get through. I had to backtrack a bit. Do you see how I'm kind of getting shoved out of my way? Well, when you're going on a speed run, it's important to always have control of your character. If you get body blocked in a doorway, you're losing time. If you get body blocked and shoved 2 inches to the left into a trap, and it's a spike trap, guess what? You're losing 5 to 6 seconds. It's terrible. So I choose to always have phasing on my character, just because it's that quality of life that increases. It just increases your speed. It doesn't seem like it would, but it honestly does. It's pretty nice. So that's the skill tree. As for the Ascendancy, it's pretty standard for a Pathfinder. I take Nature's Adrenaline, Veteran Bower, Nature's Boon, and Master Alchemist. These are all beautiful nodes. Pathfinder is the best character for any builds that require some type of flask efficiency. Alright, YouTube, I'm going to do a hard cut here and record an outro. That's it for this guide or overview, whatever you want to call it. I wouldn't really recommend you run this character. It's not the fastest. The Hammer still has the best character on the league right now for speedrunning. This character's close, but it's probably going to maintain second place to the Hammer, unless he has like a terrible night and just plays terribly. But I doubt that. He's been running for a while. He knows what he's doing. So yeah, probably don't run this character unless you want to farm helmet enchants. Maybe then it's worth it for you. But in the future, maybe keep an eye out for a guide on how to skip mechanics, like what it takes, like what are the mechanics behind skipping phases. I might do a video on that, but for now, I just wanted to upload some content for y'all. It's been a while. I wanted to let you guys know what I was doing in game, and here it is. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you next time.